Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
everyone.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fashion, Beauty and Luxury Pitch Night at the Startup Club. My name is Mathilde Vade, and I am your host tonight. So welcome, everyone. I will share my contact details in the chat, and you can do the same if you want to start the networking of the event. I will also share the schedule of the night and also the I'm sorry, so many requests to approve. Yes, and I will send also the link to the pitch decks of the 8 startups that we will discover tonight. And if you want, you can use the general chat or the private messages to ask any questions to the startups or to me, and you can interact with each other if you wish. And shortly about the Startup Club. The Startup Club is a one-stop shop for the global entrepreneur community. Our vision is to assist businesses in their funding rounds and growth by connecting entrepreneurs with investors, advisors, and mentors in the startup ecosystem internationally. And we do this through a series of pitch nights and investor networking conferences. And currently, we host pitch events in EdTech, Health Tech, Green Tech, Food and Agri-Tech, Real Estate, and also new event is the AI Summit coming up in September. So I will also share the links to free tickets in the chat shortly during the event. So yes, tonight we have an amazing lineup. 8 companies will be presenting from around the world. And very happy to have you all here tonight. So I will now briefly go through the presenters. And so pitch number 1 will be Isle of Monday. It's a rare vintage for rent, the first rental platform for women's luxury vintage clothing and accessories with Janelle Gray. And yes, Janelle Gray. Second pitch is Nouvelle Silk 95.5. Upending the silk women's ready-to-wear market with its trademarked washable stretch silk with Joanne Snodgrass. The third pitch is Earthbound, developing an award-winning 97% natural sneakers presented by Domagoj Bolja. The pitch number 4 is Ciriana, eco-fashion house based in Rome, with strong reference to the Italian fashion tradition with Sofia. Pitch number 5, Rosi Dreams. It's an innovative on-the-go beauty perfectors in TSA approved sizes and environmentally friendly packaging with Kate Boyer and Rosie Gaul. The pitch number 6 is Stroli, the global shopping bag made from 100% recycled materials with Paul Merchant from the UK. Pitch number 7 is Bliss and Bles, the crystal healing athleisure brand presented by Lindsay Bles. And the pitch number 8 is Some United, a mission-based lifestyle apparel brand with unique inside pocket details presented by Brad Dubrovsky. Yes, so amazing lineup tonight. As we have many presenters, we have a slightly different format this time. It will be more fast-moving format with each startup having 15 minutes in total to pitch and to receive the feedback. So the presenters, you can pitch 7 minutes approximately, and the rest of the time will be feedback. If you want to pitch longer, then you have to consider that the feedback will be shorter, but it's up to you. It's not so it's just 15 minutes is the time that there is for each. And there will be a timer that I will press at the start. And when you hear the beep, this just the time is up and we will move to the next presenter. And tonight we have 3 advisors who will give feedback to the presenters. We have Saverio, Jeppe, and Luca. So they're advisors. Would you like to introduce yourself shortly to the audience? Like, who would like to start?
Okay, I can start. Hi, everybody.
Okay. Yes.
Saverio. I have more or less 10 years of experience in the luxury industry, especially in the yacht industry in Italy. And now I am a partner in EMBA Capital, which is a venture capital fund active since 3 years, more or less, full steam. And we have several investments running already. So looking forward to hear from you guys.
Thank you very much, Saverio. And now let's hear the introduction from Jeppe from Sweden. Hello?
He's on mute.
Are you?
Yes. I'm Jeppe Bjerke, and I'm based in Stockholm as a private investor. Mostly invest in the consumer space, the SaaS companies and edtech companies. And previously, I work in the biggest venture capital fund in Norway, Investinor. So this is the second time in the board, so looking forward for tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great to have you here again. And let's hear the intro from Luca.
Thank you so much. Luca, I'm in Switzerland right now in Chur. We have an opening party of the new office. So I might be having people in the back with me coming in and out. Don't worry, and I'm sorry about it. I have like 25 years experience in fashion and luxury and beauty, and now partner in a venture capital, small micro cap private equity company, investing in all the nice things that you can find and trying to help them grow and become big.
Thank you very much. Great to have you here tonight. Let's just jump right into the first pitch, which is Isle of Monday. So Janelle, if you want to share your screen and start the pitch, I will put the timer.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Technical difficulties. Desktop too. Yeah. Okay, can everyone see that all right?
Yes, can see it fine. Thank you. Can go.
Okay, perfect. We are ready to go. We'll get started. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Gabriela Carota. And I'm Janelle Gray. And we're the founders of Isle of Monday. Together, we're building the first rental platform for women's luxury vintage clothing. Our mission is to unlock access to the most sought-after garments in the secondhand industry through a tech-enabled rental experience purpose-built for one-of-a-kind inventory. The fashion industry is undergoing a seismic shift, and vintage is at the center of it. For the first time ever, vintage is eclipsing modern fashion across culture, commerce, and consumer behavior. As you can see here, secondhand is projected to outpace fast fashion within the next decade, with vintage leading the charge. So much so that 61% of young women now prefer to shop vintage over new. And vintage is searched over 1,200 times per minute on eBay. At Isle of Monday, we're not just reacting to this shift, we're building for it. Fashion is at an inflection point, and we're just getting started. The trajectory ahead is massive. But while demand is booming, the experience is broken. Vintage is still harder to shop than modern, and we're here to fix that by solving for 3 core problems. First is affordability. Vintage is insanely expensive, driven by demand and perceived rarity, making most pieces feel very out of reach. For example, the same vintage Roberto Cavalli dress is listed at 2 drastically different price points, highlighting just how unaffordable and inconsistent the vintage market has become. Next is access. Even if you can afford it, luxury vintage is still oftentimes one of one. Someone else buys it first, it's gone, leaving most shoppers disappointed. And last is user experience. Vintage is sold with minimal information. Think a dress on a mannequin, just as shown in this photo. And it's fragmented across marketplaces and social media.
By introducing the first rental platform for women's luxury vintage, we've removed the barrier of expensive ownership and opened up access for women to enjoy these incredible pieces that they want at a fraction of the price, while we make 3 times the revenue compared to resale. Our customer-first platform is built for secondhand, personalized, easy to use, and designed to scale. In doing so, we're carving out a defensible moat in the $70 billion US secondhand market by introducing rental as the next major category, with purpose-built infrastructure to handle one-of-a-kind inventory where legacy platforms fall short. Here's how it works. At the core of our technology is the build of our single SKU reverse logistics system, designed to track each individual garment through its full life cycle, supported by custom back-end systems for SKU-level museum-grade care and cleaning, storage, logistics, and reverse fulfillment. This infrastructure includes RFID garment passports and AI-automated product detail pages, powers our D2C business today, and in the future positions us to license the same tech stack to resellers, marketplaces, and global fashion houses managing their own archives. Isle of Monday's system before seen in vintage, enabling one-of-one inventory to scale.
Before launching Isle of Monday, I worked in both Big Four consulting and fashion, modeling, styling, and sourcing vintage for over a decade. That experience built the supplier relationships we rely on today. Our proprietary network can source up to 10,000 pieces per month at wholesale prices, preserving margin while enabling us to ensure authenticity and quality. It's also what enables us to operate as a fully brand managed platform rather than a marketplace. We don't rely on third-party sellers or fragmented supply. We control the full experience, from sourcing to styling to shipping. And that's critical for delivering a consistent premium customer experience. And each piece is shown on a true-to-size model with listed measurements converted to modern sizing. We never pin or alter anything, and we're exploring virtual try-ons to boost fit confidence. And just as importantly, we own the reverse logistics rental process. Every garment is returned to, cleaned by, and stored by IOM. That level of control ensures quality, protects inventory, and unlocks operational efficiency at scale, something no peer-to-peer platform or marketplace can replicate.
My background is in big tech and startups within brand content and partnership marketing. Gabriella and I originally joined forces as vintage resellers, consistently selling out with viral social media moments topping 2 million views. Together, one pop-up in 3 days drew 15,000 attendees and accrued $115,000 in revenue. Although we are pre-launched today, we've built a 10,000 person waitlist in under 2 months, entirely through organic virality via social traction, free influencer placements, and genuine excitement for vintage clothing rental. The market is hungry for vintage, so when a brand offers to simplify vintage shopping, consumers gravitate. If you look back at the trajectory of the fashion industry, our customer acquisition strategy rides the wave of the evident shift in consumer behavior. Meanwhile, legacy rental platforms remain on this flat line, designed around low-margin, high-volume rentals of fast fashion with batched SKUs and garments in multiples. This high-throughput model runs counter to current industry trends you see here, with fast fashion and a statistical flat line. At Isle of Monday, we're building for what comes next, the high-growth secondhand future of fashion. The first stage of tech is our MVP, which is launching this fall. In year 1, we're forecasting $3.9 million in revenue, supporting at least 12,000 users, 80% of whom we've already validated through our 10,000 person waitlist. In years 2 and 3, we're fully developing and deploying our proprietary reverse logistics stack, optimized for single SKU inventory, driving efficiency and margin as we scale to a $24.8 million in revenue. By year 5, we're project scaling to over $100 million in revenue by growing both sides of the business, expanding our D2C rental platform, and unlocking a B2B arm. We're taking the infrastructure we purpose-built for IOM, optimized for one-of-one inventory, and leveraging it to serve the broader secondhand market, enabling large-scale marketplaces to offer rental at scale. That's how we become the next billion-dollar business in fashion tech.
Today, we're raising a 1 million post-money safe at an 8 million valuation cap and 20% discount. Funds will go towards our MVP launch, inventory scale, and our go-to-market strategy, while laying the foundation for a future B2B SaaS arm. At a moment when fashion is being forced to rethink how clothing is consumed, Isle of Monday offers a smarter path forward. Access over ownership powered by AI, logistics, and deep cultural relevance. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity, and we're so thankful to be pitching to you today.
Thank you so much for the pitch. Okay, let's move
Thank
to
you.
the feedback part. We have 7 minutes for the feedback. Every advisor keep to 1 point or question, and we should be fine. So who wants to start? Luca?
Tight schedule. Okay,
Yes.
I like the idea, and I totally understand the market. I think the opportunity. What I didn't understand quite though is what is the source? I mean, where do you get the garments, the dresses, the pieces from?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're happy to answer that question for you.
Yeah, so we've built a proprietary supplier network. We source all over the globe, but primarily we do source within the US, which is great for us because we can avoid those pesky tariffs that are happening. And we source at wholesale prices, and we work with dealers who are not public facing. So these dealers, they work primarily B2B. So if you think of how modern brands typically work with B2B manufacturers, we do the same, except ours are dealers. And then our dealers have their own supplier connections, each of whom have their own network as well, which creates a snowball effect that gives us an ever-expanding supply chain to pull from. And in terms of how those dealers get their inventory, it's very diverse. So it can be from estate sales, archive and sample houses, high net worth individuals, defunct designer vaults, importers across Europe and Japan, and of course, like showroom closures. So that's how they get their inventory. And then we have built these contractual relationships with them over the last 6 years because we've been deeply embedded in this like vintage reselling community that we often have first dib access to their overall inventory. So we get there before any other resellers do. And that's how we're able to source 10,000 pieces in a month.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And sorry if our internet is a little bit choppy right now.
Yeah,
New York is having a little bit of
Okay.
a crisis when it comes to internet today, so.
Don't worry, I only had one question anyway, so.
Thank you,
Okay,
Luca.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, who wants to go next? Saverio, perhaps?
Okay, so thank you very much. I really cool. I like it a lot. And my question is, I believe your competitive advantage is basically the platform you build and the capability to integrate the value chain and the user experience you can offer to the customer. How do you think that you can defend this competitive advantage in case it will have success from eventual other competitors?
Your question is how do we keep this defensive against competitors, correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay, so basically, I would say like our key differentiation from our competitors are that we're the first brand managed rental platform built specifically for luxury vintage. So while most rental models are designed for multi-unit inventory and batch processing, we're reimagining the system to be single SKU, one-of-one garments with tech and logistics built in to handle rarity versus repetition, which is how like Rent the Runway, for instance, is built. Unlike peer-to-peer platforms, which are on the rise right now, both in Europe and specifically in New York, or modern fashion rental, we own the entire experience from sourcing to styling, cleaning, fulfillment, reverse logistics. That gives us control over the quality and consistency and speed at scale. I'll say in New York City, there's a brand called Pickle that currently leads fashion rental for our target market. And we offer a very fundamentally different model, being curated, in-house managed luxury vintage with no seller lag or inconsistent garments or unpredictable shipping. By managing the process end to end, we deliver a very seamless premium experience, like you said, something that's still very much missing in the rental industry today, as well as the vintage market today.
Thank you.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Saverio. And now a last point from Jeppe. I think you're on mute.
Sorry. Great presentation. And I think it's an interesting space because it's always have lots of failures of having different business models. But it looks like you have been thinking through this value chain very properly. But in terms of like being a very like pre-seed company, how are we going to build the reverse logistics of the part of the value chain? But that, because that seems, from my experience, was more difficult for like an early stage company like yours.
Yeah, that's a great question. So in terms of the reverse logistics, in terms of the care and cleaning, just to start out with, we are partnering with a third-party dry cleaners in the near term. And because it's vintage garments, we're working specifically with like eco-conscious type solvents and low temperature processing. Once we get to years 3 and 4, we will start to bring that care and cleaning in-house, but we just want to be very capital efficient and make sure that we're not, expending capital when we could easily outsource that portion of our reverse logistics. The reverse logistics in itself, though, that is what the proprietary technology that we're building is going to solve. So once we launch, then we'll have a fully in-house engineering team. And I know Janelle can speak a little bit more towards how the technology of the reverse logistics for single SKU will work.
Yeah, so everything is going to be fully integrated into our warehouse and into our tech, from product detail pages and AI automation there to making sure that there is really specific garment traceability. Because if you think about it with one-of-one garments, like everything needs to be cleaned very specifically for that garment. Everything needs to be handled in a certain way, stored in a certain way. So everything is on an individual level, which again doesn't exist in current technology right now. And I'll add to what Gabriella said, when it comes to care and cleaning and some of the challenges that rental companies have had in the past, with fast fashion rental companies, which is what exists right now, they rely on that high throughput model. So they have to invest really upfront in care and cleaning because they're relying on a high volume of rentals to be profitable. As much as we are projecting this being a really profitable business and people being really excited about it, we don't need to have a high volume of rentals to be profitable. We break even after 2, maybe 3 rentals for every single garment because our margins are so high. So we can scale our investment into care, cleaning, and some of those more tactical reverse logistics engines that we need to build out as the company grows versus kind of building risk and investing in it upfront.
Thank you. Perfect. Right on time. Thank you so much, I Love Monday, for the great pitch, and thank you for the feedback from the advisors. You can connect with each other and continue the conversation offline, of course. So now we will be moving to the second presenter of the evening, which is Nouvelle Silk 95.5 with Joanne. So hi, Joanne. Whenever you're ready, you can start your presentation. I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now? I'm going
Yes. Hi. Hello. Yes, I can hear you now. Perfect.
And sharing the screen. Oops. I need to get it a little higher so that I can change it. I'm sorry. So it looks like it's sharing in another format and not in the PDF that I saved. And let me try and do that.
Can just make like a full screen.
Yeah.
There's a button like on the right, on the bottom. Yeah.
All right, now I have to go to the beginning. All right. Introducing Nouvelle Silk 95.5, a casual, sophisticated silk women's wear collection with a trademark fabric. A minimalist, timeless, and thoughtfully designed brand that transcends seasons and seamlessly floats from day to night. We are remaining true to our goals of sustainability with a single fabric and zero waste. We even create roses from the leftover fabric. A washable silk that reduces the harmful effects of dry cleaning and enhancing silk's wearability with our stretch enhancement that we've added with elastane into our silk. We also understand that comfort is luxury as well as the versatility. We have therefore in our collection created elevated essentials, casual, sophisticated day, as well as special occasion categories. We are currently about 15 to 80% below our competitors in the same categories. We are therefore a value offering with functional, travel-friendly, easy-to-care wardrobe. This presents an opportunity for margin growth, as well as traditionally our customers know that they never have to put our seasonless pieces on the markdown rack. Nouvelle has transformed from 2018 when we were a item-based shirting company in a myriad of colors. We have now a full wardrobe collection with a stylist capsule that we added in 2023 that's extremely profitable. And then we are also creating a cashmere and a after 5 occasional special occasion collection. Our distribution strategy and channel expansion leverages a multi-channel strategy for scalable growth and long-term value, starting with our international distribution. Our 4-year partnership with Ecomark has been extremely good for us. We have entered the UK and EU market with amazing stores. And then we also have the connection with Ecomark has become very valuable since we're going to do a cashmere collection together with one of the customers that has a guaranteed buy. Currently, Ecomark is 50% of our revenue. Our B2B US wholesale relaunch and growth expansion plan is strategic and multi-tiered to capture and build long-lasting relationship with top doors. Most importantly, we will also be implementing a 30% deposit, which will definitely assist with our cash flow in the future. We have a stylist division that we launched in late 2023 that took off tremendously. And in the first year, we did $500,000 with only 10 stylists. Funding will be used to develop this profitable category. Our direct-to-consumer and in-store showroom has not been the focus of the company. We absolutely understand that the value lies herein for profitability, and the funding would be definitely used to grow e-commerce in our category with the right partners. We do have a lot of pop-ups and in-store events, and we have also created a retail space in our 2 very well located New York as well as West Palm Beach showrooms where people now come in and shop the line as well. That is a multifunctional new strategy that is definitely working for us. Our strong DTC online and in-store opportunity for direct to consumer sales, it will be fueled by our we are definitely known in some categories. Our brand is it hangs with top designers like Escada, as well as our stylist division has Lafayette as well that they sell. So the brand is in some categories, it's really well known, and we therefore believe that direct to consumer would be a very profitable and a quick entry. We are going to be at about 2 million for 2025, and estimating with funding to be at in 2028 at 11 million. Our pie currently represents mostly wholesale and distribution, but with our drive for stylists and DTC, we really want our pie to be mostly with stylists and DTC, where it's a 60% margin. So it will be a 50% spin into that direction. We are currently seeking investment for about $750,000 to $1 million, and that will be for our global expansion. We want to enter the market through the Arab Fashion Week. We have been there before and got a lot of good results from there, but funding was not available at the time for us to grow and focus in that region. Asia through Japan is a wonderful opportunity for us through Coterie. And then, of course, our expansion to really get products into the hands of our 24 stylists that are waiting to also have the shows with our products. And then new product development with our cashmere that we can then launch worldwide, as well as our Privé collection, which is a high margin after 5 category that's really lucrative and a growing market in this country as well as worldwide. My name is Joanne Snodgrass. I have been an entrepreneur all my life. I enjoy fashion, and I hope that to have some interested parties join the journey with us. We have Sandra over here. She is a business development consultant, and she's the one that will be heading up the wholesale and has been working on the plan. Michelle Boehner is our business development consultant for stylists. She has grown the stylist division for another company up to 5 million in 2 years. And MK Marsden is our AI and tech person that's going to help with the DTC launch. I have added a couple of other slides just for your perusal, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much for the pitch. Okay, let's start with Jeppe this time.
Yes, great presentation, and it seems like you have great traction already as a business that's up and running, with especially good on the stylist channel. I think it's interesting. I'm a little bit curious about the loyalty of your customers, so and how much you spend on getting new customers. So how long is like the lifetime value of your customers in general, and how much? What's your CAC?
So, are we talking wholesale or direct to consumer?
Direct to consumer. You can take direct to consumer.
So for direct to consumer, when the way we initially attracted the direct to consumer customer was on the was a sort of a halo effect. A customer will walk into a retailer, find our brand, and then look for us online. And we have customers that have been buying 4 to 5 years from us. They come back because as the top to toe looks, they want to get the matching pants that they already have in their wardrobe. They know it's built on longevity, so they understand the brand. They know it, and they continue buying. Also, where the wholesale is concerned, we moved our wholesale. I outsourced that originally, and we brought wholesale up a year ago. It was at 1 million. What we realized was exactly what you're saying. We didn't have loyalty. Our showroom was selling everywhere. And really, we were not able to build that relationship that is so important in wholesale and distribution that we have with EcoMark. And as you can see, we are in great stores over there that buy every single season from our brand. That's why the new launch with US wholesale will be driven from us here at the showroom, over here as well as in New York, with Sandra, who is from Loro Piana and also a consultant in luxury.
Great, thank you.
Good.
Yes, thank you. All right, Luca.
Great presentation. Thank you. Great idea, great product, obviously. What is your digital strategy? What is your D2C, if you so want? How do you sell right now? How's your channel working there?
We have on Shopify, we have our e-commerce platform. it's okay. We definitely do need a new, better website with better UX. That will definitely where a majority, not a majority, but at least a big portion of the funding that we'll get is going to be input into that social strategy. I did have influences at the time, not being with the correct showroom that matched our brand. They were targeting a more contemporary influencer. I spent $12,000 and got 12 pictures, and that was that. It really needs to be strategic. I now understand who to get, who will be our target influencers, and of course the social, to upgrade our social strategy. As you can see, we only have about 2,000 followers, but definitely with the right focus, we'll be able to do that. We have so far focused mostly on wholesale distribution, in catalogs, and not
No.
at all on DTC.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, I just wanted to say we are searching for a good partner. We're looking at digital advertising companies and consultants for that. And of course, MK is very well knowledged in that with luxury growth in AI and digital. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. And let's hear feedback from Saverio.
Yeah, hi. Thank you very much. Nice, very nice presentation. And yes, my question is, if I understood well, you're selling at a lower price compared to competitors. So is this coming from a cost advantage that you have, or is it simply a pricing strategy and you're squeezing margins there?
So initially it was to get into many different stores, but we have adjusted our costing. And when you did the analysis, we were at a much higher margin. We have also, because we are a single fabric, and often we do repeats, we do about 12 new styles a season, and we have 2 drops a year. We are able to negotiate better costs with our manufacturer because of this minimalist but wide collection that we are able to repeat.
Okay.
So there's many classic pieces that we continue creating. We have done over 100 colors, 115 colors. So our solid column dressing is very, when I started it in 2018, the top to toe monochromatic look was very new, but and people have now, it has of course come back, and now it's really taking off, and people understand that they want that, and they also feel the comfort of our collection where it's casual, sophisticated. And yes, we're deciding whether to put up the prices, and I think that's what we're going to do. So there's definitely going to be additional margin to get closer to our competitors.
If I may, I think one of the challenges since onboarding with Joanne, the showroom in New York was a contemporary-minded showroom. So they were pushing to keep the prices lower. When we started looking at profitability, our margins, that played into the decision to exit with that particular showroom because they were not targeting our correct consumer. In addition to that, that's part of the substantial erosion of wholesale. Price point for us, we were fighting to stay low, and obviously we identify as a luxury product and affordable luxury or opening price point luxury brand. So that shift is part of where we've retargeted which retailers we want to play with, who can be our dominant partners, and we're not focused on trying to be in a market that is below our quality and standards.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback. Thank you, Joanne and Sandra, for the pitch.
Thank you.
All right, and now we will move to the third presenter of the evening, which is ecological sneakers called Earthbound, and it's presented by Domagoj from Croatia.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Domagoj. You can share your screen, and I will start the timer whenever you're ready.
Share the screen. Oh, okay, here we are. Can you see the screen?
I can still, I see Joanne's screen still. I need to,
Someone needs to approve my request for.
wait, 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try again. Can you try again to request?
Mhm. Okay.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hi everyone. My name is Domagoj. I'm the co-founder of Earthbound, a creation-based startup. So, the footwear industry has a detrimental ecological impact. Most of the shoes are made from oil-derived materials, which are basically various types of plastics, which are the main cause of microplastic pollution. And also the other component of shoes is mainly leather, which is a natural material, but the way that it stands using heavy metals and forever chemicals makes it a highly pollutant material. So the numbers are staggering because every year in the world, almost 24 billion pairs of shoes are made, and most of them are never actually sold. So being part of the footwear industry, we decided to tackle this issue. Together with my brother, who is a master of industrial design, and myself, who am a scholar entrepreneur, for many years, almost 9 years, we ran our own private development studio, developing high-end luxury sneakers for French and Dutch brands mainly, which gave us a unique opportunity to see the industry from the inside out, from the way that the materials are produced, from the way that the shoes are produced, and the way that they are consumed. So at one point, we felt the obligation to actually use our expertise to tackle this issue and to try to redesign shoes from the bottom up to make them compatible with nature and with human health. So after a couple of years of research, we launched our solution, which are radically ecological sneakers. Our solution is unique in a way that we make every product decision based on our radically ecological filter. So we use natural materials. Depending on the style, we use 7 to 9 plant-based materials and New Zealand wool to make a fully natural product. There's still some small details such as sewing threads to be tackled, but mostly our sneaker is virgin natural materials. So in order to be sustainable, you can use natural materials, but you also need to be fashionable and also durable and durable and comfortable. So we try to bring color to sustainability. Sustainability usually is considered as beige and bland, but we try to be the exact opposite. What we managed to do is to become the first B Corp certified company in Croatia with an insanely high ecological score, which we are really very proud of. But also, we are the first sneaker in the world that's fully Ecotech certified, which means that not one, but all of the materials that we use in our sneakers are tested for more than 350 chemicals that can be detrimental to human health. So we combine nature and human health. With using natural materials, we also had a result that we were not targeting, but came with using natural materials, is that we have a 65% lower CO2 emissions during the life cycle of our product compared to the average shoe on the market. The sustainable footwear market is growing, and it's now it's at $9.8 billion, but in the next 10 years, it should grow at a 6.5% compound annual growth rate and reach $18.2 billion by 2034. Our business model is direct-to-consumer. We launched as a direct-to-consumer brand, primarily on Kickstarter, and then we transitioned to our own web shop. But now we are at a stage where we are integrating with other marketplaces such as Decathlon in Europe, Avocado Store in Germany, Three Leaves, and most recently we entered the wholesale market with the German outdoor company Bergfreunde. Our sneakers are priced from 139 to 179 euros with a gross margin of 60 to 65% depending on the style. We already have some serious traction, and our consumers really love us. And we already have situations where consumers are buying from us for the 10th time. And a word of mouth is really an important channel for our expansion. We launched in 2020 with our Kickstarter campaign, and since then we grew a total of 10x, and we are nearing break even. So we are now raising a substantial round of 3 million euros at 20 million euros pre-money valuation to primarily boost our growth through because we need working capital to grow our stock, and also we need a lot of money to boost our marketing efforts. We are primarily advertising through social media, such as Meta, Google Ads, and all the other platforms. And we are selling 70% to the EU market and 30% to the US market. We also need money to continue developing new styles, which are already at various levels of technological readiness, and also to certify these new products accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the pitch, Domagoj. Let's move to the feedback with Saverio.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the presentation. Really super idea. And you started with the problem setting, okay? So the environmental impact of the traditional shoes in production. And I see that you have already a really solid traction. So my question is, are you sure that people is buying for that problem that you initially were telling, or it's more because of the design, or probably a combination of both? So just to hear your perception of this after that you now sold quite a bunch of shoes.
Yeah, we actually do surveys among our consumers, and it's quite interesting that 1/3 of the consumers are people who really see us as authentic, and they live a green and sustainable lifestyle and see us as a logical addition to their lifestyle. The second third of the consumers are consumers who heard our story and realized that there is a problem, and then invested in a pair of our shoes to kind of be part of this movement. And the third, and I think the most important one, the consumers are the ones that just like the shoes. From the sustainability perspective, all of these consumers are equally important for us, but I think the main growth will happen actually in this fashion segment, where people buy the shoes because they are comfortable, because they are fashionable, and then the sustainability part is a bonus. But for us, it's a mission and a core value that we build the product on.
Okay, clear. So let's say that business-wise, you're following probably more the first 2/3, and then vision-wise, more the third. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Saverio. And let's hear from Luca.
Thank you. Great presentation. I like the product, and I think it's a great move towards, not towards, but like under support sustainability. I totally like the idea. What is your strategy for growth? Where do you think? What's your opinion? Where does it come from? Is it B2B? Is it D2C? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of both. In marketing, I always like the pull approach. Now that we are growing as a direct-to-consumer brand and growing through platforms, now we are being more and more approached by wholesale sellers, other platforms, and also we do customized styles for companies or some movements. So I think that we will at one point become more of a wholesale brand, but this will come through growing our direct consumer base, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So DTC is also some kind of marketing for you.
I think so. Yeah, it was a concept. It was also building this data set that we have of how of a customer acquisition cost, return on advertising investment, also repeat customers, and also the pain points of the customer. So we can in the direct consumer space, we own the consumer and we own the information, and that's really important because it's the direct contact and feedback.
Sure.
But I think in the long term, it will require insane amounts of working capital to really grow as a direct-to-consumer brand. I think it's just the jumping board to getting some really good wholesale deals. We don't want to be in the long term a luxury brand, but rather show that it can be natural and sustainable, but also have a medium price point that you don't have to borderline luxury, because it avoids the purpose. We want to make
super.
As a viable alternative to classical unsustainable footwear.
Makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. And let's hear now Jeppe's feedback.
I just said to the latter point, I think it's a smart thing to start with D2C and also broaden up the wholesale channel. I think I see this as a very wholesale channel product, so I totally agree with that strategy. Very impressive having a shoe made of 97% of reusable material. The material, so it's very impressive you have created this such a shoe. And I'm really curious about, I guess the bigger players, bigger other shoe manufacturers will enter this market more and more the years coming. They're probably lagging a bit, but you also see product where you're using reused materials. How are you gonna compete with these bigger brands, and how are you gonna continue like differentiate your product when those players are entering the squad?
Unfortunately for nature, I had first-hand. I was at a shoe development conference in Portland at Stride, as the only startup representative among the greats, among Nike, among Adidas, New Balance, Crocs, etc. And all the people there were development guys. And what they said is that for the corporates, it's almost impossible to go full-blown sustainable. What they can do is maybe introduce some materials, some lines that more serve as a marketing tool rather than a full-blown switch to sustainability. And I was always afraid that we were going to be late for the party and that the bigger players would crush us. But now I see that the bigger players are they're too slow, and for them it's a big bite to chew to change the strategy to natural materials. Imagine this: if you go to a convenience store and you have a health food department, what does that make the rest of the store? Unhealthy food. And they have the same problem. If they market a line as natural and healthy, what does that make the other products that they make? It makes it unhealthy or unsustainable. So what we saw in the last 5 or 6 years, that the bigger players are not really entering the market in the way that we were expecting them to do. It's sad, but it's true. There are smaller brands that have been doing this, and sustainability has been a focus, but not natural sustainability. So I think we have a lot of time to build a strong position in this market to be the go-to guys for sustainability. I was always sure that it's going to be the opposite, that the bigger guys are going to crush us, but it doesn't seem so in the last couple of years.
No, I think you're maybe right, because they're too big for they're so late. So I think that's good for you, bad for the planet. But yes, I think you're gonna be right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the pitch, Domagoj, and for the feedback from all the advisors. All right, we are gonna move to the fourth pitch, which is Ciriana. presented by Marcin and Sophia.
Yes, that's us. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
hi. Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, I want to share my screen, but I don't know how to do it, actually. Just a sec. Yeah, I'm sharing. Can you see?
Not yet. Yeah, now I can see that you're starting to share, and now I can see the screen.
Okay, perfect. So I'm very glad that I had this fantastic speaker before me, because we are actually in the same mood, as to say. So we are also dealing with sustainability, and as Domagoj said, that his product is 97% organic. So I can proudly say that my product is 100% organic, and that's a source of my pride. So I am Sophia. I am running a company called Ciriana in Rome. And I will start from sharing a brief story. So I was running a fashion company in Rome, specializing in coats for a decade. And at some point, I decided to stop doing it. So I reached the climax of its development, selling up to 500 pieces of woolen coats a day. So it was a huge sale. I was putting them on big online channels. And I think that, it was a very good product, because a relationship between price and quality was very good. But I noticed that people do not respect this product. So they were getting rid of the coats immediately after purchasing them. And it was shocking. So as you could imagine, for a designer who is actually curating each product carefully, it's like, those products are like my kids. So I was shocked and I was angry. And so I stopped doing it abruptly. And I reset, I rebooted, and I restarted with a completely different business idea. So 2 years ago, I started to look for completely organic materials for my products, materials and accessories, to change the production into clean, completely clean, deprived of any chemicals. And after 2 years, I can actually proudly say that I achieved something, because last week I won the first prize on the fashion event in Cannes. It was a fashion festival held alongside of the iconic film festival. And I won the best emerging designer brand out of 58 companies. So the fashion jury told me that we are like no other brand, they appreciated that they are stylish pieces, and we are actually rigorously natural. So I'm very proud of that. And I thought that this indicates that we took the right direction. So why we're doing the new thing? So we started with an idea that, the sustainable product is colorless. And there is something missing. So, of course, we don't want to use synthetic colors for organic products. So what is here in the slide is actually showing that obviously fashion is getting sustainable, and this organic cotton market is growing. So I think that it was already said by Domagoj. And obviously consumers want colors, and we don't want to dye the natural with a synthetic. I think it's in clash, right? So obviously another fact is that dyes are polluting the environment, and it's like a horrible pollution. So imagine that when you put your plastic wardrobe into the laundry, it washes out the microplastics and lets them free to the groundwaters. So never warm up the plastic. And unfortunately, we do it every day. By the way, did you know that the black dye is the most toxic dye of all? For the human organism, it's like poisonous. So get rid of any black underwear if you have any. But we are human beings and we are organic. So whatever we wear should be organic, right? In order to keep us healthy long term. So plant-based dyes are the natural solution for the problem that is existing. And they have been known since antiquity. Unfortunately, there is no industrial process for dyeing naturally with plant-based dyes. So they are, for us in our project, plant-based dyes are our primary choice for creating a seamless industrial solution. So what we want to do is we want to develop an optimized, scalable industrial process for both plants and microbial dyes, and this is something new. So the color of this slide is supposed to show you that we are not talking about pastel colors, about something which is washed out, something that we are used to know as natural dyes. These colors are flashy, so they are like literally like those on the slide. So if we consider the color intensity, we are obviously realistic. We get only pastel colors, a little bit washed out with, which are produced by plants. But with microbial dyes, it's a completely different story. So it was shocking for me to discover that there are microorganisms that produce very, very vivid colors, like violet, red, very, very intense yellow. And this is something that I was looking for to dye my collections. So imagine that microorganisms have unlimited potential. So it's still very much unknown. So what are microorganisms? So they are entities with one cell only. So these are bacteria, virus, and fungi, which actually they have the ability to synthesize extremely vibrant colors. And they have some special qualities, like they are not non-toxic, they do not leave residue, and they have some pro-health characteristics, like if you put something dyed with microorganisms, actually it can cure your allergic diseases, it can smooth the skin. So a lot of components, microbial components, are used in cosmetics, but they have never been used in dyeing before. So what we are now doing is we have assembled the team, which consists of experts in the field. So we have two R&D streams. One is microbial and the other is plant-based. And they are based in 3 different places. So there are 3 different universities working in Poland and one in Egypt. There are different countries, like I mentioned, Poland, Europe, different ecosystem, and Egypt, which is completely different, let's say, type of flora and fauna. And it's actually a big advantage because we can test various solutions and compare the results. Also, why Egypt? Egypt is involved because Egypt is producing cotton, which is the best cotton in the world, and we are purchasing organic cotton from them precisely. So we have very good relationships with the producers, and potentially we will be selling our product to them, because they are also very much interested in creating this solution. So we have 3 steps as mentioned in this slide. So we need to identify species which are most efficient for this kind of job. So imagine you have one cell, for instance, a bacteria with one cell, and one cell is producing 50% of intense color, depending on the situation. For instance, while eating or while vomiting or while procreating, they're producing intense violet or intense red, and this might be 50% of the cell. So our task is to catch the moment, stimulate it in a lab situation, and then obviously get this dye in the most efficient way. And then step number 2 is develop optimal extraction. So we need to have the process, which is like getting this color and making a dye out of it. And the step number 3 is to validate how it dyes the fabric. So the fabric is always an organic type of maybe not only cotton, but all cellulose type of fabrics. And then we'll be testing on those solutions, obviously, their efficiency. And finally, we want to develop a full industrial scale of production of the dye. So why we're better than competitors? Because people are competing right now for this solution. They're fighting to get it first. So it's like a war. Who will be the first on the market to get the natural dye process? And there is one guy, for instance, that we managed to get on board, and this is a professor from Mansoura University. So this very university we'll work with in Egypt. So imagine this is the guy who has been awarded, and exactly for this development of natural dye process and applied on the organic cotton. So we have this person, and obviously we have a number of other scientists who are known experts in the field. So it's like combining those Polish teams and Egyptian teams makes it more competitive, and I think that we might be really fast with this. So we already started preparations and some activities. So the team is really complementary, I would say. So imagine 2 different ecosystems, 2 different expertise from various fields: microorganisms, microbiology, chemistry, biology, and also dyeing and fabrics. So there is a special, let's say, division of a university which is exactly working on dyeing. So I think that the know-how is there, and what we need is more cash. So now, Martin, if you could
Yes,
tell where we are.
Thank you, Zofia. Greetings from Warsaw. Just to prove that it's not just a pipe dream, I'll tell you very quickly what we have done so far. So as Zofia said, we assembled 3 teams. Those scientists reviewed some of the academic research that has been performed so far. And based on that, we developed a very detailed R&D plan, a very comprehensive one, which we estimate will run between 24 and 30 months, with a budget projected at 2 million euros. Also, at the end of Q1, we applied for a European Union research grant, which hopefully will subsidize our project up to 70% of the qualified costs. We're expecting that contest to complete sometime in August. So before we launch the project, hopefully in September, we need to raise the remaining 600,000 euros to start this project. And at the very end of the project, obviously, well, hopefully, if we reach that breakthrough technology, we'll have to secure the IP, and after that, commercialize that technology, as Zofia said, to produce that organic dye and help other companies produce sustainable fashion. So overall, we think, or we're convinced that it's a very compelling opportunity for anyone who wants to participate in this ongoing and accelerating adoption process of sustainable fashion. And thank you, Domagoj, for fantastic presentation, because you gave us a great introduction. This chemical toxic stuff is really bad. So we are
convinced that we are doing the right thing.
I cannot see the clock, but I'm sure we run out of time. So
yeah, actually, it's like just 1 minute left. So
too bad.
So no time for the feedback for you, but it was interesting, like to hear the story in detail and in length. So maybe the advisors can send you a question or feedback like after the call. I'll make sure to to forward you the email, and we can maybe get their feedback afterwards. Anyway, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
And we will now go to the 5th presenter. We have still 4 presenters tonight. So next in line is Rosi Dreams with Kate and Rosie. So whenever you're ready, you can share your screen.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes, I
Okay,
can
good.
see you. Hi. I can see your screen.
Yes.
All right, perfect. I'm starting the clock.
Okay, I'm Rosie. I'm the co-founder of Rosi Dreams. We are a white space beauty brand of on-the-go travel beauty perfectors. And I'm joined here by my team of 7 all the way across the globe. I'm here in Naples, Florida. We have our employee, other members all the way out in the UK and just beyond. So we're covered all around the globe, and we've positioned ourselves as being an international travel beauty brand in the white space of on-the-go beauty perfectors. And my team member here, Jen, is going to share our slide with you. Jen over there in Dallas, Texas. And I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see the screen, but I'd like to speak to our core values. Some of the things that we really pride ourselves on are precision, making sure our products are just perfect. Innovation, we have very unique products that have never been on the market before. And inspiration, I used to be a flight attendant, and through my years of traveling, I've become inspired to come up with really cool, unique solutions on the go, looking pretty and fresh. So on that note, I'd like to introduce also Kate Boyer, who is part of our team. And Kate, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. I've joined Rosie. She was actually a customer of mine in my company, Anatomy, which I have led for over 18 years as CEO into a successful omnichannel lifestyle brand with a network of 110 stylists, 400 wholesale accounts, a very efficient digital platform with a CAC to LTV ratio of over 9 in our super spender category, and some of our own series of pop-ups and four-wall profitable owned retail stores. So when you do that for a decade or so, you probably learn a lot, right, on what to do, what not to do. Having raised capital, exited a couple of other companies, reported to boards, I wanted to make sure Rosie checks the boxes for success, not only with an authentic founder story, 70+% gross margins, but one of my pet peeves was a simple supply chain. One of the first team members I brought on board is Jennifer Thompson, whose expertise is in exactly that on our product development side. Jen, up to you.
Yep. Thank you all. And as Rosie said, I'm here from Dallas, Texas, running the screen. So I am very excited. Been working with Rosie and Kate for the last couple of years, building this product to where we are today and be able to present in front of you. I come with over 30 years in the beauty and skincare and hair care space. That's been my entire career. And we work with a contract lab out here that's been in business for over 100 years. They've got a pretty powerful portfolio, and they have helped us develop some really innovative products. I'll tell you more about it.
Thank you so much, ladies. I'd love to dive into the products and show you a real quick view of what our on-the-go perfectors look like. They're in these really unique kits. They're easy, they're on the go, they're perfectly packaged. The formulations have been dialed in. Everything is very clean and pure. My years as a flight attendant, I was always so frustrated. I don't know if you guys travel a lot, but when you fill those little containers, you squeeze in your favorite products, they're running over the edges, and it gets so messy and it's frustrating. And I always found it upsetting that I couldn't just buy a product that was quick and easy on the go, that I could just put in my flight attendant bag or on my way to yoga or like strolling your kids down the street. So we came up with this really cool line. I'll give you another view of what some of these perfectors look like, but they're in these beautiful containers. And we have these really cool kits that are lightweight, easy to pack, easy to put in your bag, simple on the go. And what was really cool is through the years after being a flight attendant, I was putting on my mascara and I noticed my mascara kept clumping and it was frustrating. So I would take this little spoolie cup here and dip it in water and try to separate my lashes. And I thought, why don't I just buy a product that does that? So I looked the Google everywhere that I could find, every beauty company, every beauty line. I couldn't find a product that would help separate my lashes. So I saw it out with Jen, who works with the lab, and Kate and our other team, and we formulated an amazing hero product called the Lash Perfector, which declumps and defines your lashes. So we're really happy to say that we are the first on the market to come up with something like this. We have the trademarks, we have the logo, we're ready to go to market, and we have received rave reviews about our Lash Perfector. As far as the products, we have a whole line of 9 different SKUs, really cool compact, TSA approved. And our team here, we're 50 years experience in global travel retail. So we have a lot of experience behind our belts already in success and bringing companies to great success and great heights. And I'm very, very blessed to have such an amazing team. At the end of this, I'd love to introduce you to Keith, David, and Barbara, who also have over 25 years experience. And we would also like to tap into not only beauty stores like Sephora or Ulta's, but we're looking to also sell and distribute to cruise lines, airports, duty free. The sky is the limit of the different connections that we have through the experience and our partners here. And I would love to let David and Keith and Barbara share a little bit more about their experience as well after Jen dives into a little bit more about the products and the development and how this all came about. Jen, I'll leave it to you.
So you can see on the screen is just an overview of the remaining products. What's really interesting, and you may or may not know this, so I don't want to assume people do or don't know everything, but there's about 35% of the products that were launched in 2024 that are actually new and innovative. The rest of them are just reimagined or re-engineered products. Really not a lot of new technology on there. But with the lab that we work through, we actually sat down with them and said, we want to position a brand that is global. So what we've done is we've used AI algorithms based on solutions that we want to accomplish across the globe, because not all environments are the same. There's a lot of environmental stressors out there. And we came up with this host of products. So we're really super excited. Every single one of them is new innovation. Nothing is a repeat from anything that exists. While it may target the eyes or the lips or the hands or the face, it's all new innovation. And we've focused on packaging, as Rosie was saying, that's very buttoned up, small and petite, so that it can be crafted to be this perfect on-the-go product, and that you can find it in your purse very easily. You can find it in your travel bag very easily, that you can be, while you have all this extra time at an airport, be able to be stimulated by new innovation out there. We also have taken these 8 products and we've turned them into kits. So we have 5 pre-designed kits that we can take a little further and simplify it. So, because products complement each other. We use that AI algorithm to figure that out and realize, oh my God, this complements this product, and came up with this concept of kits. Some of our kits are 4 products in there. Some can actually hold up to 6 products in there. And again, we have over 5 variations, and from that we are customizing how we actually go to market with this in our displays, and how we use it in duty free and travel, which we'll talk more about. So I'll let Kate talk about the experiential retail. This is her favorite part.
Super quick. So go-to-market strategy, which we're ready with after over a year of development, sampling, back and forth, finalizing trademark registrations, concepts, ingredients, everything to be owned by Rosi Dreams. As you can see, we created point of sale materials. These cost $7,000, $8,000 with digital screens, kind of ready to go through our networks and existing buyers meetings that we've already had. I think we're going to be running out of time, so let's keep moving, ladies. There's a concept of our own stores down the road in the 5-year plan. But the most important part is how we're planning to scale this thing up, right?
And I'd love for Keith to talk about how his connection with the airport industry and dive into that. Floor is yours, Keith.
I think it might be best if we get some questions before this pitch is over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're asking for is $1 million, and we've kind of outlined here, what we're looking at is 50-50, 50% wholesale customers and 50% is going to be a digital customer for us. So to maximize our profitability, we need 385,000 for inventory. We've got 30,000 built into our production proofs that will be our features, our furniture, and for our trade shows and for our retail spaces. 40,000 of that will be in our marketing spend, and 75,000 in that PR to really build up Rosi and speaking engagement podcasts and build the brand out.
There is one-page financial overview, just so you all can have an overview on how we're planning to scale this up. So this is a bottom-up plan built on like 35 Excel sheets with our CFO by SKU, by channel, in detail. So we're open to questions. I think it's best if we dive into that, kids, right?
Yes, let's move to the questions for the last 4 minutes. Let's begin with Saverio.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Very, very interesting. So was there a particular technical solution that you had to achieve in order to, let's say, make your product special? Or is it simply an idea, something you came up with for experience?
To make it special, our products are definitely looking fresh on the go. We didn't seek out to be just another beauty brand. Really, it came out of solving a problem. And one thing important to note is like our spaces are only this much square footage, right? And I think there's just so much overload in the beauty space. You walk in, there's like 10 eyeshadows, 5 different foundation, all of these different powders. We are nothing like that. This isn't about overdoing your makeup. This is about looking very pretty and fresh on the go with simple solutions.
And if I could just add to that for you. So brands out there have multiple SKUs, 30 SKUs. They're so SKU deep and heavy that it's overwhelming for the consumer. While using our AI algorithm, we could have less products do more things, which is a part of our strategy so that you could take it on the go.
Okay, so that's why you came up with that solution that the others didn't. Okay, basically. Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you, Saverio. And let's hear the question or feedback from Luca.
Thanks, great presentation. I'm not the specialist in eye makeup, obviously, but for sure, great topic. Do you have any traction already? Are there any sales anywhere, or are you starting up right now? I was not getting that.
It is pre-revenue, Luca.
Pre-revenue, okay.
Yep, yes, sir. Yeah, we built a website, all of our social media platforms. We have all the contents created in the Dropbox. Everything's fine and ready to go for market. We've had buyer meetings and presented the samples, and we're just ready for inventory and marketing.
So you got commitments already from the buyers?
We're super close. We have a couple orders from cruise lines. You know how it is. You're waiting for POs, but they say they're going to buy it. We have a couple orders pending, yes.
Okay, got it. Good, thank you.
Thank you. And we have time for one more short point from Jeppe. Hello, I think you're on mute.
Sorry. I think the financial forecast looks extreme, unrealistic, to be honest. Very, very ambitious for like starting from zero in 5 years. So I think you should reconsider the figures because it looks extremely high and not realistic at all. So all the packaging is TSA size, right? And you don't want to produce the larger sizes just because that's your concept of being able to on the go and in airplanes, etc.
There's some products that we will have refillable sizes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we think a subscription model will solve that, and people just want to refill sometimes as well. Jeppe?
Okay.
Yep.
I read in your presentation you had a strategic collaboration with QVC. Is that something you have today, or is it something on the wish list? Or
no, none of the names are a wish. They are all meetings we have had. So TV selling, QVC HSN and a Canadian channel. We've showed the samples and we're scheduling airtime for an October-November presentation. Ideally, the funding coming in now allows us to start delivering first week of November. So that is the airtime we're booking on 4 TV channels. We have one team player, Barbara Lyons, on the screen here. Her entire background and history and experience is on TV selling. And we really feel Rosie was going to be perfect for that. I had to do it at Anatomy for 20 years. I know it works.
I think just finally, I think I will try to focus on fewer channels and also reconsider the figures, the financial figures.
Got it. Understood. So
Thank you
like
so
us
much.
to- Yeah, thank
Thank you
you.
so much for presenting and thank you
Thank
for the
you.
feedback. And okay, let's move to pitch number 6. Stroli from the UK with
It's
Paul
me.
Marchand.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Paul.
There we
Hi.
go. How are you all?
Good, good. And yourself?
Good. Very good indeed. Let me just find
Yes.
my presentation. Share. You can see that?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Thank you very much
Yeah.
indeed. I think the first thing to say is when I have a meeting or a pitch, I like to set myself an objective. And my objective here today is to hopefully communicate clearly the opportunity that I've created with the company with a view to having further conversations about investment. With that in mind, let's dive straight in. My name is Paul. I'm the founder of Stroli. Now, Stroli is the humble shopping trolley remastered and made from recycled material. That's right, the shopping trolley. Often seen as for grannies or old people, it turns out it's a market that's overlooked and ripe for development. The market is currently dominated by cheap, generic, poorly made brands, and as such, we can become the de facto shopping trolley brand by initially tapping into the 1.2 million Google searches for my product group in the UK alone. This is then, and this is important, this is what will then enable us to then scale into the wider shopping bag market. That is our ambition, not to be a shopping trolley brand, but to be a shopping bag brand. I'd like to pose a thought at this point. Oh, actually, no, sorry. And on this journey, what we will be doing when becoming the #1 shopping bag brand will be removing new and single-use plastics from society. I'd like to pose a thought at this point. I bet if you thought about it, you could name a luggage brand. I also bet if you thought about it, you could name a rucksack brand. But can you name a shopping bag brand? And that is the niche that Stroli will fill. Moving on, next slide. About this, I put this slide in reality just to put some prompts if anyone wants to talk about target audiences. I think most people will think about what a shopping trolley and a shopping bag customer looks like is on the left. That's the past, it's not the case. The reason the market is growing and not shrinking is because new people are coming into the market. We are seeing students, we are seeing the sort of whole shop local movement, 40, 50-year-olds, women, and obviously older. But I can talk more about target audiences if you want, but I put that in there as a prompt. So I explained the vision. Why Stroli? Why now? There is a perfect storm going on that sort of works to our advantage. The shopping bag market is forecast to grow 76% over the next 5 years, from 10 billion that it is currently to 17.66 billion. The shopping trolley market is a good example of this as well. It has grown 33% in terms of Google search terms. John Lewis, a large retailer here, announced their sales this year in terms of shopping bags and shopping trolleys, up 78% year on year. We also have a plastic problem in society. Consumers and retailers will start pulling back from plastic, and there needs to be something to take its place. Stroli will be that answer. And then you've also got the sort of consumer things that are going on. You've got eco-conscious consumers. Consumers are actively searching out eco companies. You have the urbanization of society. There are more people walking. There are more people taking public transport. And this all comes together to turn it into a growth sector. So that's the vision. That's why. The next thing I want to touch on is why me? One, I had the idea. Two, I understand the hustle of business. I've had my own advertising agency for 18 years, so I know that it's difficult. I know you need to be resourceful and you also need to be relentless. On top of that, you need to keep hold of your cash flow at all times, because if you don't keep control of your cash flow, you've gone in business. So I understand the importance of how to run a business, but my marketing and advertising background sets me up to be able to do this and drive this forward. I've got experience working with Samsung, Grant's Whiskey, Vespa Motorcycles. I've done it for years. So that's why I believe I'm the right person. Moving on, what have we achieved? So I'm pretty certain if I turned up to people and just said, I've got an idea for a shopping bag brand, no one would invest in me. So I've used my own money, and I have, with shallow pockets, brought the company to market. I have demonstrated a very basic proof of traction. We've had over 600 units into consumers' hands. I know that my production is good by the lack of returns and from the fact I've had good reviews. We've been featured by some, we've been picked up in the press. We've had some micro-influencers feature us as well. So basically what I've done is I've stress tested all the business processes, and I know that they work. This slide will be changing quite significantly in a month, because we are now moving into our actual phase of widening our product range, which I'll come on to now, which is on the money slide. So we are looking for £200,000 for a 15% equity stake in the company. So that will give us a 20-month runway. So far, I have just raised £45,000. That has been implemented and deployed. We have our website being updated. We have new products coming in, and we are launching properly and with a dedicated media spend, which I haven't done previously, to start rolling this out. The figures you see in that chart, they're fairly modest, but I 100% believe I can definitely do that with £200,000. I've never been one to over-exaggerate, because then you find yourself in a sticky situation. In terms of margin on the shopping trolley, we are slightly under where we should be on our gross margin. We are sitting at about 55%. This needs to be above 60%. But when I get some scale and I get some volume, I get economies of scale and I get economies in shipping, and that then becomes solved. In terms of, we've got a full launch going on now. In 12 months' time, I want this company to be self-sustaining in the UK, and I want to be on the road to opening 1 EU territory. In 20 months to 2 years, we will be trading in 2 EU countries, and in 3 years, we'll be trading in 3. And at that point, I would either like to be doing a finance loan raise or something, or maybe a second raise to then go and push out into all of Europe. That is my presentation. Thank you very much for your time. If you'd like to come and have a conversation, I'd be delighted. Come and join the Stroli revolution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul, for the pitch. All right, let's go right into the feedback. Let's hear from Jeppe first.
Yes, Paul. I love the company. I love the idea, and how we're gonna rebrand like old forgotten product into making something cool again. It's how we're gonna scale. It seems like maybe like starting like a niche product, and my question is how we're gonna scale up the business after they are bought their Stroli, and how we're gonna scale it up from like more like normal customers after the first start. And also, I think I like the design; it's very recognizable, but also maybe on the long term, maybe you can make it personalized as well, and not like all of the standards. So that's why it's
I love the idea of personalization. It's definitely something to go forward with in the future. It's working out how I actually go about and do that, but I 100% buy into that. To answer your question about how do we grow and expand, one of the problems with my business, if I do it right and I do my product right, I don't get very many repeat purchases. So say if someone buys a shopping trolley, that should last them. So how do I scale and it's about product expansion. It's about range development to then on touch points of other parts of their lives. Because in reality, where I see the vision of being about we want to be the shopping bag brand in the next 5 years. That's what I want to be, Europe's #1. As we go further on into the future, it might be me that does it. It might be someone else that takes it. I very much see this as we're in last mile delivery, which is quite a hot topic, really, in reality, and to do with our logistics and everything else. If something moves it should be a Stroli product. That's my sort of long distance sort of vision for it. It might be cycle panniers. It could be robots taking stuff from places, but it's about setting the foundation and then grow from there. So I want to just get this company to be famous for being a shopping bag brand.
Good. I think it's a good strategy. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeppe. Let's hear now Luca's feedback.
Well, thank you. Amazing presentation.
Thank you very much.
And I can see that you have been in advertising for a long, long time. Really good. I like the idea, like the product. Same question. Is it the B2B product? Is it B2C product? What is it? Where are you pushing forward?
Yeah, at the moment I'm D2C. I see myself primarily being D2C. However, I do want to get into retail. One of the things doesn't have to, I don't want it everywhere, because one of the things I find with a decent retail presence, if you're in the right stores, you end up getting brand exposure. That's what I really want to achieve with that. The other thing I've mentioned, so I've got new products coming on, which start to scale our different target audiences. One of them is I've finally found some really good recycled material that matches up to the standards that I want to do. And it's like a bag that people can put in their handbag. It's in the middle of development at the moment, so I can't show it. But products like that will be perfect for point of sale in supermarkets, because I don't know if you've seen in Europe, but some of our supermarkets here don't even give you a plastic bag anymore. So I want to be selling, that's why I'm developing new products to start really niching down on what, say, a retailer might want. So they might not be wanting my shopping trolley, but they will be wanting these tiny little purchase bags at point of purchase that are made from recycled material.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. And now Saverio.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the presentation. Really amazing. I love the idea of, the ambition of transforming commodity in a cool, differentiating product. And so how do you produce it?
I produce.
Where do you buy product materials? How do you supply chain? How's it working?
Factory is currently in China. I do want to nearshore. I did try and make it in Britain. It's just impossible. So I've ended up with China, and it's done over there. And I have certification for all the different materials and everything that are used to prove that they are what they say they are. And I've got a good production facility, and they've proved themselves now.
Okay, so you plan to stay with them for the next couple of years?
I would like to stay with them, but I'm also a realist. I think one of my weaknesses in the business that I've identified is I have all my eggs in one basket. I've got one producer. It's not good enough. So I have started looking for redundancy plans, for want of a better word. If something goes wrong, I've got someone else in place. And where I want to get to as I scale is I want to have 2 manufacturing facilities on board. I'm starting conversations in Portugal, but I want to have 2. So while one company does a container 1 month, another company does the container next month. So we're all working to the same standards and the same stuff. But what I have then are 2 production facilities working hand in hand together.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There's still a bit of time left. Someone has a follow-up questions, perhaps?
How long have I got? Oh, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I can talk for ages on this sort of stuff. But I've got 2 minutes. One thing I think is worth saying is it's always difficult protecting your market and people coming in and copying you. Happens in every single sector. I've seen it across the board in advertising and marketing. One of my background in advertising marketing, will help defend against this. The second thing that I want to be doing with the money that I'm looking to raise is there's something called micro IP, I think is a way to describe it. So you cannot patent, for example, a shopping trolley. It exists. You can't patent a shopping bag. What you can patent, though, is an element within it. So I've started looking, it might be how the wheels connect to the frame. Those things then become a design element, and then you can get a patent against that. And then what you can do is you patent that micro IP it then hovers over the entire product. So you're actually protected and you start to have a point of difference in terms of design. And the biggest benefit of that is it drops your corporation tax down in the UK to 10%. So everything sold on that product suddenly has a huge, the tax is way, way down. So one of the things I've got in my development when I'm, it's not there, in one of my bags is how they're fixed, how the handles are fixed to the bags. I'm using like a little metal clip. It's not been done in that style. I hope to micro IP that piece, which then again, as I say, hovers over the total unit and has a financial benefit in terms of corporation tax.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul, for presenting and joining us tonight.
My absolute pleasure. If anyone wants to continue the conversation, I'm happy to. I've noticed my long form deck isn't in the Dropbox, so I've dropped you an email with it in because it's my presentation deck, not the sort of full detailed one.
Okay, I'll make sure to share the long presentation afterwards after the event.
Perfect. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, we have now the pitch number 7, which is Bliss and Bles, presented by Lindsay Bles. And this is we have 2 more presenters tonight. So this is number 7. Lindsay, are you ready to share your screen?
Can you hear me okay?
No? Yeah, hi, yes.
Okay,
I can hear
hi.
you. But...
Wonderful. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
All right. What if simply getting dressed in the morning could elevate your mind, body, and spirit? Hi, I'm Lindsay Bles, a fashion designer, wellness professional, and the founder of Bliss and Bles Holistic Apparel. Bliss being the state of mind, and bless me, your guide. The wellness market is booming, yet there is no mainstream brand with crystal-infused apparel until now. Enter Bliss and Bles, where fashion meets wellness in perfect harmony by embedding healing crystals into clothing. Bliss and Bles is not just athleisure, it's a movement. We are pioneering the first crystal-infused activewear brand that seamlessly integrates wellness into women's daily lives. In a world where 60% of women struggle to prioritize their well-being, we make self-care as effortless as getting dressed. In today's fast-paced world, wellness is the ultimate luxury. Women are exercising more than ever. Daily participation rose to 20% in 2023, but mental health challenges have also increased. In 2022, 26% of women in the US experienced mental illness. This resonates with me personally, as my mother has struggled with mental health most of her life. She finally found relief in crystal-infused apparel after trying many alternative therapies. Last year, America spent $1.8 trillion on wellness products and services. The global athleisure market is expected to double and reach $560 billion in 2029. The US e-commerce athleisure market is estimated to be worth $154.6 billion, projected to reach $338 by 2033 at a CAGR of 9.1. Holistic wellness fashion, the niche in which we operate, is about $15 billion. With the wellness industry demand at a CAGR of 8.6 and the first of its kind, Bliss and Bles aims to capture 0.1 to 0.5% of this market, translating to $15 to $75 million revenue opportunity within 5 years. Our innovative approach addresses this dual-faceted issue by integrating healing crystals into women's yoga and exercise apparel. This fusion aims to provide not only physical comfort and style, but also to promote emotional and spiritual well-being. By wearing our crystal-infused activewear, women can experience the combined benefits of physical activity and the therapeutic properties associated with crystal healing, fostering a more holistic approach to health and self-care. And we make it as easy as retail therapy. The healing starts right at checkout, and they receive a kind affirmation after purchase, aligning with the angel number of their purchase price. Our dual-faceted approach wellness plan is easy to maintain with a monthly subscription box that includes bonus materials such as meditations, mantras, and journaling prompts. Self-prioritizing is as simple as getting dressed. More people are wearing athletic wear when lounging, going shopping, or just working around the house. Our subscription box model explores auras, chakras, and holistic practices, blending spiritual wellness with retail. Through a proprietary styling system, we also offer high-ticket single purchase options and unique experiential sales, enhanced by collaboration with local and social media influencers. WGSN has Aura as a leading trend in 2027. The US subscription box market is projected to reach $65 billion by 2027, highlighting a major opportunity for direct-to-consumer and subscription-based models. With our 7th-month educational subscription box model, people are less likely to fall out of membership. Fox selected us to be a part of David Spade's show Snake Oil in the fall of 2023. They featured my children's crystal-infused t-shirts, and from the small 20-second plug, we made $1.8 thousand in sales. The products were only $22 to $44. We are currently in talks to be featured on Fox's Localist SD and Better Business San Diego. I participated in San Diego Fashion Week in the fall of 2022. Shortly after, my couture crystal apparel was featured on the cover of 3 fashion magazines here. I founded and manage a small wellness boutique on the shores of La Jolla, California. I have a significant local following for my products and my wellness services. We made $26,000 in sales in 2023 and $27.5 in 2025. I think I got my slides a little wrong. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going backwards. That's why. Hold on. My dog is jumping on me. Don't worry. Anyways, let's see. We were the featured designer in Los Angeles Fashion District commercial in 2024. And we just featured our chakra healing collection at the Los Angeles Fashion Week show in October. We had an enormous response and several women want to carry our products in their stores. Our market entry strategy is simple and focused on selling our subscription box model. We'll host quarterly fashion shows for our customers and influencers who will then promote on social media, creating organic followers and purchases. We'll partner with yoga studios and large wellness events and festivals where patrons can purchase and be retargeted to buy into our subscription boxes. I'm a visionary and entrepreneur blending holistic wellness with a sustainable fashion innovation. As the wellness industry continues to merge with fashion, I'm poised to scale Bliss and Bless into a global movement, offering investors a unique opportunity to be at the forefront of a rapidly expanding market. With just our pre-seed funding alone, we anticipate making $1.4 million in sales the first year. Our main focus is on profitability and retention. The current crystal-infused apparel market is small and fragmented, hippie brands that lack the sophistication and scalability to appeal to a larger audience. With our market intersecting wellness and athleisure, we won't be going head-to-head with athleisure giants, but carving out our own market like Tommy Copper did with his infused apparel. Instead, we'll rival them in quality, innovation, and sustainability. We are seeking $500,000 in pre-seed funding. Bliss and Bless isn't just another activewear brand. We're building a wellness revolution in fashion. With an early foothold in a booming market, the right investors have a chance to be a part of something truly transformative. Are you ready to help shape the future of self-care? Let's talk.
Okay, thank you so much for the presentation. Let's go into the feedback. I don't know if Luca, do you still have time to say a few words or because I don't know.
I'm sorry, I just have to run out. I have like 50 people waiting there.
Oh, okay.
It's all good. Great presentation, thank you. So where's your market? Is that which customer in what countries?
So primarily we're just working in the US online subscription box model. They're mainly women. The age is basically millennials to Gen Z. These women are not the same market as say Lululemon or Viore. They're the women that have trouble getting out of bed. and stuff like that.
So it's a more active woman.
It's
Or
active wear.
the real active woman.
Yeah, it's for the women that don't even have time, like they're taking care of children, that, you know, they don't always make it to the gym, but they can. And if they don't make it to the gym, they don't feel bad because they were kind of healing themselves in a way. So.
Okay, got it. Cool.
All right, thank you, Luca, and thank you for joining. I know you have to leave, so thanks.
Thanks for everything. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. Hopefully next time again.
You will.
Okay,
thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And let's hear the feedback from Jeppe.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Crystallized infused clothes is still a big question mark for me, how that is done correctly. And also, when you're on this stage very, very early, and no proof of traction of this subscription model with these different boxes, and no info about how much you think about the churn going to be, how are we going to go from like 27,000 in sales to 40 millions in 5 years? Sounds very...
Yeah, so my
optimistic.
subscription box model, I have a very good team of my marketing team that's done very well in the past with other brands in California. So the women that buy these products, they're going to learn about Aura. So 7-month subscription box model. And then my, let me show you, where is it? 1 second. So my like, they just get retargeted a lot. So my system's very simple with how, like, there's no overhead. There's nothing that has to go on sale. It's very easy to fulfill these. So I create, like, say 10 products on my website, and then I retarget them or add a new one. I have a pretty big culture already here. So people that like this product really like this product. Some of them, women change their whole identities around it, just around crystals in general. And people that buy crystals continue to buy crystals. I think it's about 42% of adults, men and women, accept crystals as something as like a wellness product.
But are you doing something with the clothes before you send it, or the customers have to do it for themselves, or how does this work?
So I have different processes. I've been designing for 15 years. I've been doing crystal clothes this whole time. So I have different processes. So the athletic wear is very simple. It's mainly like screen printed at this point. So my cost of product is less than $20, and they retail for $111. And as the brand grows, because it is small, then we get more into the technology of the fabrics, like nanotechnologies. But it's just like screen printing, or even adorn them with little crystals.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Okay, Lindsay, we still have like 3 minutes. Do you want to tell us something more about your company, or do you have to go? Because I know you have to go also at the...
No, I moved my appointment. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like, if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer.
I mean, maybe you have some slides that you didn't have time to show us, or the appendix, maybe?
Well, okay, so my market entry strategy, so the way that I'm going to go, since I've already done the television show, I've created a whole product line. It's basically Forever 21 with crystals would be the end goal. So athletic wear has the lowest churn rate. People don't return it a lot online. And then whatever they do return, I can just put back in someone else's subscription box. So, and then we go, I've already been invited to Paris Fashion Week and New York Fashion Weeks. So I'd like to continue doing that. It's a very culty product for people in wellness, and there aren't any designers doing this. There's no one that's as experienced in wellness as I am. I do hands-on, like crystal, Reiki for 15 years, so I have a wellness boutique that I operate, and it runs itself. So it's easy to sell the products there. I can sell the products with yoga studios. I have a few already wanting to work with me, but I really want to just build the brand. The money's for just e-commerce. And that's it. I mean, it can be put on really any product, the crystals. So yes, I have IP that I have to protect, that I'm not, divulging. So if you want to talk more about the products and how they're made, we can do that in another phone call. But I just have to kind of protect that for now. So that's pretty much the business. 50% is mainly for marketing, and then they do return fairly easily. They also, it's easy to retarget these customers with, say, dresses that I make or jackets like this one, you know.
Do you have any collaboration with important person in this communities with lots of followers on social media, etc.? Like,
yes, I have like 4 or 5 already. Like, there's a holistic stylist or the holistic psychiatrist. There's all these different people that I can bring my products to that have already agreed to help. And then the beauty of this is it's kind of easy for an influencer or an affiliate to just make money selling my products, because they can talk to their audience every month about their new amethyst jacket or new amethyst athletic wear, and like they can talk about how it makes them feel, and all these other women do the same thing. And so then they're kind of making money. Yoga instructors don't make a lot of money, so it's a great way to give them like tool to sell. So mainly there's a lot of affiliate stuff that we'll do. And people don't really understand it. So we simplify it, and they just get to try something, a different level of your aura every month, or learn about your chakra, a new chakra every month. And it just comes in the mail.
I mean, the mindful space is growing big, but still this crystal thing is new for me personally. So I'm not an expert, and maybe not a prime customer as well. So, but it's interesting to learn something new.
Yeah. The great conversation piece, if nothing else. People love to talk about it.
Okay, thank you so much. The time is up now. Thank you for joining and for pitching, Lindsay. And
thank you so much.
Thank you. And we have still one more company tonight, which is Thumb United with Brad.
Everybody, hi everybody.
Hi Brad.
Everybody see my slide?
Yes, I can see your slide.
Congratulations to everybody who made a presentation tonight. It was interesting sitting through. So here's my story. Thumb United, I come out of the apparel industry, and I'll get to that later on. But I had an idea, and I saw a big problem. My 2 sons, when they were younger, I would be buying them phones all the time. And a lot of the clothes I bought them were hoodies. I'm not even a hoodie guy, but I come out of the fashion 7th Avenue design business. And I saw, every time I told my kids don't touch something, they would touch it. It's like reverse. And so I really had a vision, and I wanted to do something that would save lives. And it may sound really kind of crazy for you, but I looked around at the market of people who, one of the biggest items sold globally, and that's hoodies. And if all I had right now was hoodies, I tell you, hang up on me. But I came up with an item, a differentiator that no one else in the market has. Some of you have seen it up close and have worn it. I have a style that is completely upended the market. It's called the Casey. And I want to give you a little journey of where I've gone with the company. So the problem has been, we all know it everywhere in the world. People are on their phones, not talking to their parents. They're at dinner tables. And the worst one is car accidents. It's the leading cause of accidents of phones are the leading cause of accidents globally. So my little solution, because I'm a simple guy, is, I looked around the market, I said I could do it better, and I put together a very tight line focused of apparel, excellent quality with pockets on the inside. Why? Because pockets just make it easier to put your phone away. In addition, because I believe and have my own mental health issues, I created this artwork, and we sewed it into every sweatshirt, this Be Happy thing. And I could tell you how things are already. I've shipped over 24,000 orders and almost $3 million worth of sweatshirts. My average order value is 144. I have a lifetime order value right now of 140. I have a ROAS 3, average 3, that I know can be improved. My return rate is at 5.5%. And just remember that number. My email list is 50,000 and growing. We have a $80 million revenue projected in less than 4 years. I mean, I'm working with a lot of smart people. This is the Casey style. And again, I'm a mission-driven business, so we give to supporting causes. You think about the mission of a brand, a mission-based brand that could really encourage people to put their friggin' phones away, especially when they're driving, right? And the brand is a reminder, just the same way Nike said, just do it. We could be a brand that commits to all our marketing is around enjoying life, hold a hand, not a phone. All you need is love, not likes. It's a really great approach to a problem that's globally, right? I'm not a tech guy, a gamification app. So this style alone, let me tell you the margins. And most companies can't do this. When I launched the brand on July 5th of 2020, most of you remember where you were. This sweatshirt was at 109. I raised the price to 114, to 119, to 124, to 129. It's at 134. Most people don't raise prices $5 in their line and continue to grow. We have, my competitors go to 25 off during Black Friday. I'm at 20. I offer 15 on a daily. Everybody else is 20. So premium products, yeah, I have a whole line. It's easy to have a whole line. What's really hard to do is have first, second, and third, because it's always about a horse race when you're selling apparel. The buyers have all the data, and now it's the same with consumers. 50% of my orders are the Casey. We use quality materials, a great design, and we deliver a superior product. That's why I work with a company that's involved with, they're involved with us with out of Berkeley. They're specialized in AI. This is right from AI, why a 5% return rate is so important. Indicates strong product market fit, signals low sizing fit issues, reduces operational costs, boosts consumer trust. I have such a low return rate that they asked me if I wanted a printout. I don't know anybody who has a printout. I mean, excuse me, a return rate like this, you should be very proud about. I'm sorry, my passion overtook me, but and by the way, 11% is friggin' awesome. 5% is outstanding. I compete with people. People make hoodies. We've done a lot of. We have a lot of data. I have 50,000 plus consumers, engaged email list. I could grow this. I grew up in this business. I know where I could take this with the right support. So from 24, last year we did 420. With an investment, I could hit these numbers without a doubt. And maybe more. Something's going to happen, whether I get picked up by somebody. I'm partners with Susan Komen. I don't know if everybody here knows the breast cancer organization. Let me continue. So Susan Komen, 1 in 8 women get breast cancer. Turned out when I was shipping out of my garage in Boca Raton that I was thanking people for orders. How'd you hear about me? Oh, we love pockets. We needed pockets. My daughter had breast cancer surgery. After surgery, we need to drain breasts. I contacted Susan Komen during the 2020 of August. We formed a partnership. I have the rights to sew the Susan Komen running ribbon on my sweatshirts. 1 in 8 women in America develop breast cancer. I have done no marketing to it. It's a huge opportunity, a great partnership. I'm a product guy. I lived in Asia for 13 years. I lived 3.5 months a year in Asia. So this is not my expertise, but we've worked with a lot of experts that have looked at the data, the metrics of the company. It's all data-driven research that drives the sales. But amazingly, we have continued to grow a customer base and again, have a 5.5% return rate. So I'm looking to raise $1 million on a safe note. It's marketing, operations, and inventory. The numbers are there. The team. So besides myself, who again, I come from, if you Google my last name, I come from the apparel industry. There was one of the gals pitching, was talking about vintage. My If you Google my last name, Dubrowski and Coates, my family there's a huge business on Etsy of people trading authentic vintage Dubrowski and Joseph Coates. So I grew up in this industry. I grew up in the industry where you found an item, there was no online, right? All my business is online. I could build this into a global business that has a great message. And I'm dead serious about that. Well, no, that's the wrong thing to say. I'm real serious about this, that saving lives, encouraging people to put their phones away is really a great thing. I don't think anybody would even argue. No one could argue with us about the mission of the company. It's such a worthy thing. So Thumb United, I am there. That's my passion right now, is to take this, find a partner who wants to hit the ground running. I could say this to you. There's a gentleman in China. His name is Mr. Tak. He's been to every wedding and bar mitzvah in my he's been to every wedding and bar mitzvah in my family the last 30 years. So it's in China. My goods are made in 3 different factories. But again, a 5.5% return rate is incredible. And I have relationships. My older brother runs a big factory for a Chinese company. He's, this is the business we're in. I know that this item, the Casey, is global. And the one thing about launching a women's line over a men's line, I can tell you this, for anybody who doesn't know, you're always better launching a women's line. Women look in the mirror after they buy something, and if they fall in love, they'll buy 3, 4, they'll go on social media. Men don't do that. Women go nuts and they buy like crazy. My repeat business, and I don't know how much time I have left, but I'll give you an idea. With the low return rate I have, and I like to hammer that home, my repeat business is enormous. I got an order in the middle of December came in. It was a 3 for 7 o'clock at night. The name sounded familiar. I click on another button. Her name was Joanna Thornsberry. Her 16th order, she spent $2,388 with the company in less than 2 years. 16 orders. That's a brand that can scale. And I'm here looking for investors, partners that want to build this into a big business. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Brad. All right, let's hear the feedback from Jeppe.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Great presentation. Great traction so far, and know from the last pitch as well. What makes you sure that you have this global market? I mean, it's you're selling in the US right now. What makes you sure that this pocket needs is very global thing? It's going to sell globally, not in just US.
I don't want to sound ambitious, too ambitious, but women all over the world, they have a lot in common. Fashion. And I'll tell you one thing that's really common all over the world, and I see, is the phone abuse. People not using it in restaurants, not putting it down all the time. I mean, there's a big disconnect. That's why the whole wellness world has shot up. People are need to tune out of their phone. But making a great product is really the core here, right? Because they make a product. The lead product is 50% of every one of my orders. And that's when you have a winning solution. When you become known for one thing, the formula in the world that I grew up and people I know, I grew up with the guy who discovered members only. He had one jacket, he built a $150 million business. And it's no different. Lululemon started with leggings. One of my dad's friends had a chance to invest in Lululemon. He was like, they only have leggings. So you have to be able to recognize, I have some problems global. I think we could be shipping. I already shipped 17 countries, and they're paying so much money because it comes into America and then I got to reship it. I have no problem. Nobody's had a problem paying more for my price. I don't know if anybody in these meetings have raised their prices up 5 times. That's kind of an award-winning thing to hang your hat on also. raising your price 24% over 5 years and people continue buying is really a good sign of building a business, in my opinion, humble opinion.
I think also the challenges with phones and screens is the same across the globe. It's also, I think it's important to have market product fit that fits different in Europe, for example, and in the US. Despite this customer buying, was it 23 or 26 orders, this LTV still is $150 or something. Is it hard to sell the hoodie sweatshirt piece number 2, or is it people? How should you do to increase the LTV?
Well, I think there's a lot more we could do with funding and having, and building this out. I mean, I think we did a pretty good job again, where we got, we have an order of people who bought 2 or more, a huge list. Our email marketing is almost 30% of our monthly revenue. I mean, those are things that people talk about in the e-commerce business that are, great metrics to have. Again, our return business is lower than the person who was in front of me touting the greatest return, a great 11% return business. So, that's a big thing in the apparel business. And I'll stand by my 35 years of working and 16 years of working in factories and delivering a product based on, measurements, and something that, listen, it wasn't an accident. Years of thought went into this, and I have something proprietary. And right now it's just a question of exploiting it, in my humble opinion.
Is there, how many SKUs do you have today? Is it except from this Casey #1 sweatshirt?
The Casey, the Jamie, the Franklin, and the Jamie are pretty much 100% of the sales, right? So we're right now running like an outlet shop to raise money, which is one of the reasons I'm on here, to find a partner, right? So we're moving out of some what I call B styles and just focus in on, people talk building a collection. It's easy to build a collection. It's hard to find a winner, right? If you put out 10 things and everybody, oh, I got 10 different things, it's very hard to figure out, if you were an investor, wow, how do I fund this? I don't know what people are going to buy. I know exactly how people are buying it. I have all the data to sit in front of, any investor that wants to look at what 4 years of, producing data did, which is, it's all the customer profiles. I have that all.
All right, thank you so much. Time is up now.
Appreciate the question.
Okay, great. Thank you for presenting, Brad.
Okay.
And so this was the last company for tonight. So thank you all for joining and for staying till the end. And I will be sharing the contact list to everyone of all the attendees, and also the recording. And so also you're also welcome to reach out to me by email if you have any feedback on the event or anything comes to your mind. So I'm happy to help out. And yeah, I hope you all like the event, and hope to see you at the Startup Club at some other occasion again.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeppe, also for your time and your feedback.
Thank you, all the advisors.
All right. Thank you all for a good evening. All right.
Thank
you all. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.